Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Thank you all for coming and for joining us. You know, we are behind, but it's okay. All right, so let's start. Let me first introduce myself to you, and then we will start from there. My name is Mr. James Yaw Afrane. Um, I am a Ghanaian born, and right now I am a lecturer at Naresuan University, Pitsanulok, at the Faculty of Humanities right now. And I would like to thank all of you for coming today and for taking your time to attend this seminar. As you all know, our topic today is em- employing online teaching tools for English language learners. Employing online teaching tools for English language learners. In this um, topic, I have divided it into two. First of all, I am going to discuss with you about the online teaching tools. And then after, I will move on in discussing about the English language learners. So we will know about the characteristics of the English language learners, who they are, and who we are as professional teachers as well. And then after that, I will conclude by summarizing and putting all of it together as one. Okay, so that will be the flow of our seminar today. See, we all know the evolution is in a constant flux of change. Just like the Greek philosopher Heraclitus of Ephesus said in his works. Heraclitus made an assertion that life is flux, panta rhea in Greek. I don't know if, if my Greek is correct or not, but I think that's correct because I practice it. So, which means all things are changing. Everything in this world is changing. So when we say life is flux, according to Heraclitus of Ephesus, he meant that everything is changing. Thinking about it in the current situation of COVID-19, this COVID-19 has brought a dramatic change to the world. So now, let's make this, or let's confirm this, that Heraclitus was talking about something that was going to happen and something that is happening. So he was right when he said life is flux. As we all can see right now, things are really changing very fast, dramatically. Things have changed in a way that now traditional education is slightly merging with the new normal education, which is the online education. So you can see, you can visualize it, that things are changing. Life is flux, everything is changing. Even a human person is changing. Our personality changes every day. And in so doing, in our current situation, the COVID-19 has brought a dramatic change to the world. And if this thing change, we must also adapt to the change. We must go with the flow of the change. Heraclitus was very wise. This is the reason why I like philosophy. Heraclitus was very wise in his assertion. Why did I start with this quote from Heraclitus? A lot of people were thinking, everything is okay. Everything is smooth. As professional teachers, we must always be ready and prepared for change. As professional workers, we must be ready and always prepare for change. And so that is the reason why today we are going to talk about how we're going to employ these online teaching tools to help the English language learners. As a matter of fact, online education has existed in years. However, the current situation has made it more necessary and demanding. The question is, how far and how fast are we moving? So you see, we all know that back in the days, online education was possible and people used to study online, especially those doing masters or PhD. They can sometimes transfer certain courses online. But right now, since things are changing so fast, the online education has become a demanding thing. So the question is, how far and how fast are we moving? I picked this question from BBC Global Questioning, that I was also a member of, the guest member on that show on that day. So the question that we were asking was how far and how fast. That's why I'm asking the same question to you today. How far and how fast are we moving? Gone are the days when to gain education one has to travel distance to receive it and to meet the instructor. You all know, you've been through with that. You've experienced that. You've been traveling. Even sometimes you don't have jeepneys. Sometimes you don't have cars to go to school. You walk, you trek just to go to school, just to get to the classroom, to meet your instructor and to learn. But now, education is traveling to us, and we can have a direct connection with the instructor through the internet or online. So you see, things are changing. It boils back to change. In the olden days, when we receive education, we used to go to school. But now, education is traveling to us. It is coming to us in our homes. Things are changing. Things are not the same anymore. So, we as educators, we as instructors, we as professional workers, we need to adjust to the change. People are now filling in for the space of online education, which is becoming more competitive. So if you are deciding to go with the online teaching market, then you have to keep in mind the benefits of the online teaching education. So people are going through it. So if you are deciding to go through it too, then you have to keep in mind the benefits of online education for the students and for you as an instructor as well. So in these education benefits will spark your interest and will encourage you to pursue an online education further. So you see, some people are saying, oh no, the online education is so stressful. Yes, it is. Even for the student, it is. But let us look at the positive side of it. Let us look at the bright side of it to see how we can merge. You see, in my first slides, I said that the online, because of the COVID-19 situation, traditional education and the virtual world education, which is the online education, is slightly merging. So in as much as we don't like it, we should begin to learn so that we can adjust to the change. So think about the benefits. Number one, to give you some ideas about the benefits, it saves time. We all know when students sit in their homes and open the laptops and say, hello, teacher, they save time. right? You as a teacher, you don't rush. Oh, let me take shower. Let me get to the classroom on time. It saves your time. We are looking at the positive side. It saves your time as well. It is convenience. Convenience at your home, at your own pace. You see, you feel relaxed. How is my hair? Do I have makeup or I don't have makeup? It's all right, right? You can still get through it. So the online education have some benefits. Online teaching is a subset of flexible teaching and learning that seeks to provide greater access to learners or for all students. Basically, it is a collaboration of the internet and the classroom for the purpose of education. So the online education is not something to reduce the previous education, but also it's a collaboration. We can combine the two together to help to improve the quality of education. So the online education, that is it. And then, right. So researchers have found that this new way of looking at education promotes technology as a tool for learning. And I agree with them. I agree with them because let me take my daughter Natalie as an example. She see sometimes when she gets your phone, she can quickly maneuver the features of the phone very quick. I'm like, really? So the children today, I call them technology kids. We cannot deprive them from this technology. So if they have access to this online, they learn a lot. So you see, promoting technology as a tool for learning, and also it is helping us to improve the quality of education. And these tools include the following. So these technologies, these tools, now let's get to the online education tools. The tools include the following. As our topic suggests, these are some of the tools we need for the online teaching. As you all know, these are some of the tools that we need. If I ask you the question without looking at the screen, right? Mention some of the online teaching tools that you know. Definitely, right now, everyone is going for Facebook, right? Yes, Facebook. So I put Facebook for number one. Now the technology is promoting Zoom. Yes, Zoom. So there's another teaching tool called Zoom. You see, why Facebook? Let's go with Facebook. Because a lot of people are using Facebook. So Facebook has become a tool for the online learners and for the online teachers. Zoom, which is also another great platform or teaching tool to use. Another one is MS Team. Yes, MS Team. I recommend this for all of you. Why? Because here in Naresuan University, our university has purchased the right for this MS Team, and all teachers, if not all of us, 99% of us are using this MS tool, and it is very reliable. It is very easy. The interface is very simple and easy to use. And I think the students are also going to love it when they start school, So I recommend MS Team. It's very good. We've been using it for conference, for so many things. It is very good. So if you have the right to purchase it, go for it. You see, it's not free. Our university has purchased the right for that. So For the teachers, for us, it's free because the university already paid for it. But you have to buy it yourself if you want to use. And Zoom as well. Zoom to a certain point is free, but it's limited number and limited minutes. So you also have to purchase the right for that as well. Yeah. Another tool that I'm going to tell you is Google Classroom. The Google Classroom is also another online teaching tool. I haven't used it, but I think it's good. Yeah, it looks like the Zoom or MS Team. And then the next one is the e-learning. The e-learning here in Naresuan University, another tool that we have is the e-learning. We also use the e-learning, which is very good, and the interface is also good for us. So these are few of them that I can think of, but I know you know many more. You know a lot. So try to see which one is good for you. So these are the online teaching tools. Although these tools are available to us, yet the teacher needs to learn how to, or how he can effectively use it to accomplish the learning goals. So these tools are available to us. So it is up to you, the teacher. As I said earlier on, it is up to you, the teacher, to use it wisely, to use it effectively, to accomplish your teaching goals. Because at the end of the day, your aim is to accomplish the teaching goals. Your aim is to gain your objectives. Your aim is for the students to understand the lesson. So that is what I can say about this. The tools are available. Use it effectively. Now, it is up to the teacher to select which tool is suitable for his or her online classroom management. So like I said, some people preferred Facebook, others preferred Zoom to MS Team, but I preferred MS Team. I think MS Team is really good. So that's my choice. What is your choice? You see, choose the one that fits you better for your classroom management. Okay, so but at the end of the day, make sure you have achieved your goal for the student, for the online learners. To be able to carry out the task effectively, the teacher, who is the game changer, should know this. You are the game changer. You as a teacher, you are the game changer. The tools are available to you, so use it effectively, and that will help the learners as well. The role of the teacher is to plan and carry out a series of interaction between the students and the online subject matter. So as I told you earlier on, your role is to carry out the series of interaction between. So if your interaction with the student is effectively, the student will enjoy it. You're playing your role. For example, if you're taking Facebook, you're using Facebook, and then while you're teaching your student, someone will call, that's a distraction for the students. So the online learners will not have the right to, enjoy the class. So try as much as possible to use the tool that has less distraction. I know all of the tools have distractions, but use the one that has less distraction for you, so that the student can understand the online subject matter, because this is an online thing, so it has to be something. In general, the teacher must control the way student comes into contact with the subject matter during the online classroom. So while you're using the tool effectively, you have to also control it. One of the experience that I got from one of our lecturers here in the faculty is that the Zoom, when the teacher signs out, the student will still be on the platform. So in this way, you don't gain total control of the whole classroom. You see, when the teacher signs out from the platform, the student will still be on the platform. So if this happens, you do not have total control of the whole classroom management thing. Even though it's online, they can do everything online. But remember, I use the word merging. So you see, the traditional classroom is merging with the online classroom. So try as much as the way that you control the traditional classroom, try as much as possible also to control the online classroom so that it will be a disciplinary education, not just an ordinary education, not just like, oh, we are online so we can do whatever we like, we can take selfies, we can take pictures, we can do makeups while we are teaching the student. No, 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 no. Be mindful of all these things. You see, these things are also destructive, and please learn how to control the classroom, okay, because that is online. You don't get to touch them physically. You don't get to see them physically like the traditional education. So you have to manage it well. By doing so, the teacher expects to make the key concepts and ideas more accessible to the students. So if you want to control the classroom well, the online classroom well, you have to always make the materials that the students are going to use accessible to them. It's not like, oh, today we're going to study vocabularies, and you'll be like, okay, are you ready? Students are ready, but the teacher is not ready. Okay, open this page. Oh no. No, 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 no. Go to the next page. No, 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 no. Oh, sorry. Wait, I'm coming. Wait, let me. No, 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 no. You're not using the tool effectively. You are just using the tool, right? So please try as much as possible to always be ready and make things, make the concept, make the ideas, make the books, make the materials more accessible to the students because it's online. Right? So try to make them accessible to the student. Note that in the modern times, children are more hands-on with technology more than any of us. So in here, you will also be learning from the students as well. You see, one thing that I have learned from the students here in Naresuan University is that I always say my students are smart, my students are good. You see, I always look at them not like they're just coming to receive education from me, but I always look at them that I'm also going to learn something from them. And I always learn something from them. This is very important. You see, these days, the students, they are very hands-on with technology, trust me. I remember last semester, I gave the student a project. Then I asked them to submit it in the classroom. It was a video project. And I told them, we are all going to watch this in the classroom together. I was amazed how the students were able to edit the video with motions, with effects, with slow-mo. Oh my God. I was like, wow. Then I asked them, how are you able to do that? They told me, oh, teacher, this is very easy. Then I kept quiet. I don't want to embarrass myself. So I kept quiet. I said, it's very easy. Oh yes, teacher, this is really easy. Really? He said, yes. You see, they made the video in such a way that it looks like you are watching Netflix. You are watching a Hollywood movie. Let me describe a scene in the video to you. There was a scene when one of the students was very stressed and she wanted to commit suicide. Well, they made it like she was stressed and depressed. Then I saw the student. They were showing that horror movie scene where you can see the pictures blurry and flashy. Then the student was began walking towards the river. There's a river here in the university, and when the student began walking towards the river, they put all effects in the video, and da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Then at a point in time, she tried to, I don't know whether she wanted to walk on the river or what. She was like Jesus Christ, something like that. But she tried to, like, when her foot went close to the river, it was like a suspense, and it was beautiful. The way the student made it was beautiful, and this was first year students. It was really beautiful. It was the video and everything in it was really beautiful. Then I asked them, how were you able to do this? They told me, as I told you earlier on, teacher, this is very easy. I was like, wow. So you see, this tells me that the students are more hands-on with technology more than many of us. So if you as a teacher, if you are going to teach them, try to gain control, access to the platform. If not, these students can manipulate the platform. So try to gain control. They are very brilliant. They are very smart. Technology came during their time. They are computer children. You can see how mobile phone is being processed. It's like they are using the brains of the kids to manufacture mobile phone. So please, take note of that. It's very important. Learn how to control the platform. This humility, you see, when you are learning from the student, don't be too proud. Let the student feel that you are their teacher. You are not the commanding officer general. So when you learn, they are also going to teach you certain things. So this sense of humility that you have makes possible a condition of reciprocal give and take. Reciprocal trust and communication between the educator who also learns and the student who also teaches. So in certain instances, as a professional teacher, you also learn from the students. Learn how to learn from the students. You see, and that will make you an effective teacher. Trust me. That will make you a better teacher. Learn how to learn from the student. Not only the teachers, I'm talking about you, police officers also. You see, as officers, you see, learn how to learn from your clients as well. As psychologists, you also need that, right? In all fields. That is why this center is called Professional Development Center, right? Or Continuing Professional Development, right? Continuing Professional Development Center. So you continue learning through your profession to develop yourself. You see, CPD, Continual Professional Development. So even though we are teachers, we are professionals, we are doctors, we are lawyers, we are police officers, learning does not stop. we continue to develop our professional skills. So remember that. Now, again, let me quote from one great educator, and his name is Paulo Freire. I know we know him, right? Teachers, we should know Paulo Freire. This Brazilian giant educator. You see, Paulo Freire, in his conceptual tools, philosophy of education, he made this assertion also. Thus, education becomes a communion between participants in a dialogue characterized by a reflexive, reciprocal, and socially relevant exchange, rather than the unilateral action of one individual agent for the benefit of the other. So, in layman terms, in simple terms, what Paulo Freire was talking about in his book, Conceptual Tools, Philosophy of Education, he was saying that education is communion. When we say communion, it's common unity between the participant and you, the teacher. You see, characterized by a reflexive, reciprocal. So it is give and take, give and take. The student learns from the teacher learns from the student. It is give and take. And that is unilateral action of one individual agent for the benefit of the other. So you do that not only for yourself, but for the benefit of the other. That is the reason why, as teachers, as professional workers, we have to adjust to the change right now so that we can use our skills professionally through the online teaching to help improve this language learner's life. So you see, because when we learn something and then we teach the other person, it is for the benefit for the other person. So Paulo Freire, he was right. Try to read his book, Conceptual Tools, Philosophy of Education, and he will guide you through the life as an educator, as a professional worker. In view of this will bring us to the first part of our teaching tools. Like I told you, I divided the seminar into two. So this will bring us to the first part of the teaching tools. We have discussed about the teaching tools. We know what are the benefits of the teaching tools and how we can use the teaching tools effectively for the language learners. Right? For the language learners. So right now, we're going to go to the second part of the seminar. Do you have any question before I move to the next one? Do you have any question? Yes. Okay. Someone sent us a question, and to the director of this CPD, Professor Winston. Well, for all, those of you who do not know, Mr. Casio was my professor in philosophy. Way back, how many years now? He was my professor in philosophy, and he taught me introduction to philosophy and introduction to philosophy, and I think philosophy of human. So thank you, Prof, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. You see, as I told you in my slides, education is for the benefit of the other. He was my teacher, and now you see, he's giving me this opportunity to deliver this message to you in this seminar. So thank you, Dr. Casio. All right, so the question that someone sent to Dr. Casio was, how can we use these tools to reach students in the rural sector? This is very important. How can we use this tool to reach students in the rural sector? I think what let me tell you something. What Naresuan University is doing right now is they are training some teachers. They are training some teachers who will be a change agent. They themselves will be the carrier of the tool, and they themselves will be the tool as well, who will go through to these rural areas and educate students who are less privileged there. So that's the way that we can get to the students. And if this doesn't change, if this COVID-19 situation doesn't change, that is exactly what we are doing. And they hope to continue to do that. So I think that will be my that will be my answer, and I hope I answered it right. Yeah, we should. What we have to do is we should train some teachers who will go to the rural areas to give education to the less privileged students over there. And you, as police officers as well, you can use that tool to train other police officers who lives in the rural areas. And it goes and it applies to every one of us here. So I think that will help. I think I answered you better, right? Yes. Okay. Any more questions? So we should move on, right? All right. So if you do not have any more questions, let's move on to the next. The next, as I told you, is English language learners. So we have discussed the tools, and we are going to discuss about the English language learners, employing online teaching tools for English language learners. We know about the tools. Now let's go to the learners as well. And this is going to be more of experience and personal experience and encounter. In my experience in teaching language, if I should tell you, language teaching is one of the most difficult course to teach. We should all accept the fact that teaching any language is not easy. And even teaching your own kid your mother language is a bit of a challenge. I'm using my own daughter, Natalie, as the respondent for this statement that I'm making. You see, teaching language is very difficult. Language teaching is not easy. I'm using my daughter, Natalie, for an example. She can speak about 5 languages. And she is 5 years and few months. Yeah, 5 years and few months. And she can speak all these languages. When I started teaching her my own dialect in Ghana, my daughter was really picking it. Then we went to Korea. She started picking it quickly. She started speaking Korean language and understanding Korean language quickly. Then she went back to Ghana. There she learned my language a lot. Then she came back to the Philippines. She started learning Tagalog, and she's really good in Tagalog now. When she was born here in Thailand, 6 months before she was 1 year when we moved to Korea. She was speaking Thai language. She could, because she studied kinder prep. I don't know whether to call it kinder or prep here in Thailand. Very young, when she was, I think, 3 months or 3 months. Then she started going to the nursery. So she went through with that up to when she was 1 year old, and she was speaking the Thai language. This is what I learned from the Thai teachers, those who were teaching her. They were trying their best to get the language to the kids. And it was very fulfilling when I heard her responding to the Thai language. It was very fulfilling when I heard her responding to the Korean language. It was very fulfilling when I heard her speaking my language. Now I could gossip with her behind her mom in my language. And she can gossip with her mom behind me with Tagalog. But the truth is, I can also speak Tagalog. So you see, language learning is not easy. And language teaching is very difficult. It is a challenge because the learners have to get to the bottom of the language. It is not formula, it is a method. Language teaching is a method. It takes steps. It's not a formula. Like when you teach mathematics, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 2, 4. It's a formula. When you teach science, alpha, beta, gamma, blah, 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 this, you get the answer. Language teaching is not like that. It is a process. It's a method. So language teaching is very difficult. So you as a change agent, you always have to prepare yourself for language teaching. In as much as some people may not agree with this fact, we should know that all other courses comes with formulas. Mathematics is a formula. Science is a formula, combination of formula and a method. What else? What else is a formula? Yes, give me. What else? Biology. Well, we put it under science. It's a formula. So you see, but when we come to language, it is not a formula. It's a method. Because it changes all the time. I give you an example. I will go to school tomorrow. That's a language. That's perfect. Excellent. If you move to another place, another English, you will say, I'm going to go to school tomorrow. That's also perfect. That's also correct. So it is very confusing, right? It is a method. The reason why it's a method is the learner has to get into the method and the teacher has to provide the teaching method. So language teaching is not easy, trust me. Language teaching is not easy. When my wife started teaching my daughter Tagalog, I could see her struggling. You see, no, not like this. Hindi ganon, hindi pwede. Parang ganito lang. Kung gusto mo, ilagay mo ng ang. Gusto ko ng. Gusto ko ang. I was like, ugh. You see? But since it's a method, she has to learn all the method and teach the child to understand it too. So I could see, and now my daughter is very good in Tagalog. She's very good. So even though we do not want to accept this fact, language teaching is not easy. Every language teacher will tell you. Every language teacher will tell you that language teaching, it's not easy. For example, in the incident whereby a child studies certain language, the day he or she will speak, that will bring joy to the parents. The speaking, like speaking Tagalog for the first time when I came to the Philippines. When I came to the Philippines, we started studying Tagalog. And our first song was that we learned in the seminary was Ang puso ko ng pupuri. Don't let me sing. Because if I start singing, it will rain in this room. Okay. So it's like, it goes like, Ang puso ko'y ng pupuri sa Panginoon, nagpaalam I can speak it to I think yeah. So you see, and then we will go to the classroom. Our Tagalog teacher will come in, and sometimes when we are getting the words wrong, she will be she get frustrated. She'll be like, "What are you guys doing, brothers?" We're like, "Yeah, don't worry, we will get there." So you see, so and it felt that she was not doing much. That was what she felt. The day we started speaking Tagalog, it was a joy for her. You see, she was very happy. And it applies to every teacher, even those teaching mathematics, those teaching science. When your student begins to answer your question perfectly, you gain joy. It's fulfilling, right? So it's like that. And she was very happy. And our formators were very happy because they, they felt that the money that they are paying for this teacher is worth it now. So you see, language teaching uses method, as I told you earlier. Language teaching uses method. I learned this from Oxford University Press, that language teaching uses method. English language learners should not be learning the fundamentals of English in isolation. They should be applying their developing language skills to rich academic context in all subjects. So you see, when they're learning English, they'll be like, "Oh, I know English. I don't need to speak it. I know it." No, they should not be learning in isolation. They have to apply it in all sectors, in all levels of their subjects. The teacher is the one to get the students into the position. So as a teacher, you always have to put the student into the learning position, because English language learners need time. In a context, we have to know the following. First, we have to know who is a language teacher. Who is an English language teacher? Again, we also have to know who are the language learners. So if you are the language teacher, who are you then? What is your position? How can you help the English language learners? So your position as a teacher, you have to define who you are as an English language teacher for the English language learners. And again, we have to know who are the English language learners. Who are the language learners? You have to identify them as well. Who are the learners? What is their culture? I'm going to give you a very relevant experience in this lesson. These are the principles of teaching, and in this new era, it is very fundamental to the development of the learner through online education. So these principles are very fundamental for the development of the learner. The learner has to know who the teacher is. The teacher has to know who he or she is. And then the language learner have to know who they are, and the teacher has to know who this language learner is. And you have to know their culture. Now, let me discuss this further. You see, most English language learners that we handle were not born in a country where English was the first language. This is very important. You have to know this as a teacher. The English language learners that we are handling right now, they were not born from a country where English is their first language. So we have a long distance to cover. I told you, teaching language is not easy. But if you can teach it rightly, you get there. Okay, so there have been a dramatic increase in the English language sector these days, especially in the last 10 years. So in the last 10 years, people have started purchasing the English language. So there have been a dramatic increase in the English language. Everywhere we go, people speak English. Let me give you one example. When I went to Korea, and then, you know, they speak Korean, and I went there for the first time. I don't know how to speak Korean. And at the airport, he asked me, passport. He, hands here. Like, put your hands on the scanner to scan your finger. Okay, then I put my hands there. Picture, take picture. Smile, okay. Then after the picture, okay, good luck. You see, so it was really fun. But this little knowledge that this officer knew helped him and me to communicate well. He was able to tell me what I needed to do, and I was able to follow that instruction. That is the reason why English language has become a global market point, a global, what do we call it, source, and it's globally demanding. So if you are teaching the English language, you are in the right position right now. You are in the right position. And imagine that right now you don't need to use only the classroom, the traditional way, but you can also do it online by employing these online teaching tools to help these English language learners. Wow, fantastic, fantastic. We can also see that the No Child Left Behind Act is pushing for the development of children in the contemporary world. So we can see that the No Child Left Behind policy. You see, like if you come here in Thailand, the Thai education system is so nice that even if the child has low GPA, he or she has the opportunity to be in school and to learn something that he or she wants. And English is the basic, they have to know the basic English, which is very good. It is good for the future of these children, and it is good for the future of this country. It is very good because every country that I go, I meet people around the world. And when they are in that country, they can learn the language in that country and they can speak English as well. So you can see that English language is very important. Very, very important. The No Child Left Behind policy. There's no child left behind. We have to educate them all to get to the top. In case you are teaching this language course online, this requires the teacher to be a multitasking person. You see, as I told you that English language teaching is not easy. So if you are going to teach this course online, you have to be a multitasking person. Multitasking in the sense that you have to be creative. Your imagination should be wide, because that will spark the interest of the learners as well. Don't just go there. Good morning. Open to page 5. Can you read? You read. No. You have to be multitasking. Employ all tools that is useful for your classroom management, your online classroom management. Be creative. Be creative. That will help the student to learn more. That will help the student. So you as a teacher, you have to be a multitasking person. Again, we also have to know the characteristics of the learners. In the teaching tools, we learn certain characteristics of the teacher, and in here we've explained some characteristics of the teacher. Like you have to be a multitasking person. Let's also know the characteristics of the learners. Looking at base, the characteristics that might affect the teacher's work with the learners. So we have to know the characteristics that's going to affect the teacher's learner and the teachers who work with the learners. Know where the students are coming from, like their background. For example, this is from my experience. Me, as a teacher, teaching different students from different faculty here in Naresuan University, I always keep in mind the diversity of my students. I always keep in mind the diversity of my students. Their background, where are they coming from? You have to understand that. As I told you, this is not a traditional system. This is online. Some applications that we have learned from the traditional system, we can employ that application at the same time on the online teaching for the English learners. Try to understand them. Try to know the background of the students. This is very, very important and very vital. It is very important. Know their background. Like me, I'm teaching students from medicine, agriculture, architecture, Korean language, Thai language, English language majors, what else? Public health students, education students, science students, mathematics students, students from all faculties. Sometimes they are mixed together. Some students are higher than the other, not in terms of financial status, not in terms of physical appearance, but in terms of knowing the language. So you, as a teacher, you have to know all these things. You have to know this is very important, very, very important. For you to be an effective teacher, especially online, you need to know this. Very important. Another experience I gain is that some students come to the section with literacy in the language, in the English language or other language skills, although their first language is Thai. And so when they are learning the English language, they transfer the knowledge in the literacy acquisition to the second language. And I learned this also here in Thailand, that some of the students are watching Korean series a lot, and they are learning the Korean language through watching the series. So when they come to study English, they transfer the language they have acquired from that learning the Korean language into the English language. So they have association. And if students are like that, these language acquisition skills, if they are like that, they learn the English language very fast, very, very quick. Because they already have a previous thought for a second language. So if they are going to learn the English language, they learn it very fast. And this is a very good tool for the student. They have acquired a certain language, certain skills. So they employ that skills into learning the English language, and they go fast. Thai is their first language. They speak Thai. But when they begin to learn English, some of them are very fast. Why? Language acquisition. They have acquired certain knowledge from watching some series. And that is very good. And even some of them also watch English series, which is also good for them. Students acquire language most effectively when they have fun on language teaching. As a teacher, know this. As a teacher, know this. Don't bore your students to death. When they have fun with the language, when they enjoy the language, they learn it very fast. I told you English language or language teaching is a method. Language teaching is a method. Even though it is very difficult to teach language, if you know the skills of teaching language, students learn it very fast. Let it be fun and relaxing. My daughter, I told you, she's learning the language very fast. Why? Because all her teachers are making it fun for her. So she's learning it very fast. If she comes here in Thailand, in no time she will begin speaking the Thai language. I believe in her. She's very fast. Why? Because she's speaking it fast. We have made her understand that language is method. It is fun to learn, so she should have it. Now, if the student will have a wall that is preventing them, they will build a fence that, oh, my teacher is so difficult, I cannot understand. That is difficult to get the language to them. So as a teacher, make it a joy for the student to learn. In every learning, philosophy, you can ask Dr. Casio, who was my philosophy teacher. Learning philosophy is very difficult, but we had a good time in learning. Why? Because all our teachers were professional, were intelligent, they knew what they were teaching, and they made the language, they made the learning, they made the education very simple for us. Mr. Casio will give you homework. One of the things that he hates in his assignment is copy and paste without acknowledging the source, plagiarizing. He will always disgrace us in front of the classroom. But at the end of the day, he made the lesson fun for us. He will call your name, recite it, and who said it, who said this or who said what. You see, and he will be like, you are in trouble. Okay. But at the end of the day, he was approachable. You see, in as much as you want to make it straight, try to manage your classroom on a certain level. The strictness is there, but make the student enjoy it. And they will learn the language first. Mr. Casio, sorry that putting you in trouble, but I know you. I know you. Okay, so again, if they can understand watching Korean without learning it formally, know that when the language is interested, they will learn fast. Content knowledge facilitates language acquisition. Have a content. Try to teach them with content, because content knowledge facilitates language acquisition. They can acquire the knowledge quickly when it is based on content. So don't forget that. This is an teaching. The language learner as a multi-intelligent agent. As I told you, these language learners, these English language learners, they are multi-intelligent. They can speak some languages. They know Thai, for example, and they are going to learn English. So that is multi-intelligence. They can speak their own dialect, Thai, and they can study English and they can speak it also. So that is very good. So you see, language learners as a strategist, they have strategy of learning. Many language learners, they have strategy. Okay, well, how to practice my vocabulary? I divide it. This is grammar. This is sentence construction. So they divide it into different, and they have a strategy to learn which is very good for them. And language learners, as a cooperative person, you see, they cooperate with their friends. They cooperate. So they are cooperative people as well, these language learners. And this I copied from the New School for General Studies, Oxford University Press. I got this information from there. Okay. Now, according to Paulo Freire said, knowing another language is empowering. Yes, knowing another language is empowering. This is very true. Myself, as an example, I can speak Tagalog, good or not good. It's better, I think. Okay lang. Mas magsalita na ako, pero hindi maganda yung salita ko. Pero okay lang. Kung naintindihan ako, walang problema. It's like Mumbai Tagalog. and I can speak Thai. I can speak Thai. ผมพูดภาษาไทยได้แต่ว่าไม่เก่งไม่มีปัญหาเป็นเข้าใจผมเป็นเข้าใจจริงๆ I can understand. That is important. I can speak Korean language, but now it's going down because I lost a lot and I'm not speaking it nowadays a lot. But when I was there, yes, I spoke it. I understood it. Every instruction. You see? 한국 사람 잘해요. 많이 안 쳐요. 조금 알아요. I can I can speak a little bit. 조금 알아. You see? And what else? I can speak Chi. I can speak my English. So you see, if you learn language, you empower yourself. If I go to any country, then I encounter Filipinos. When I speak Filipino to them, they will feel so happy and they will welcome me. If I go to any country and I see Thai people and I speak Thai language to them, they will feel happy and they will welcome me. If I go to any country and I see Korean people, I try to practice my little Korean language, they will also welcome me. You see? So when you learn language, you empower yourself. So Paulo Freire, who is an educator, he was right in his statement by saying that knowing another language is empowering. In view of this, the language teacher has to be very much aware of it. So you as a language teacher, you are empowering the language learner. You are empowering the language learner. So keep that in mind. Professional development teachers have to learn to have a range of instructional strategies. So you as a professional developer, you as a teacher, you have to learn to have some range of instructional strategies. It is very important for teachers to pay attention to whatever program and practices that they are using in the online classroom. So pay attention. Try to learn it very well. Like me right now, I'm paying a very strict attention to MS Teams. And I'm learning it. Every night at 12 midnight or 1 o'clock, I will be on watching it the whole time and I'm learning how to maneuver it. So I'm paying attention to that online teaching tools. It is very important. You as a teacher, you as a language developer, you as a language teacher, you have to pay attention to learn all this. Note, assessment is critical. You can assume the concept of one size fits all. So teachers need to know the progress of their students. You as a teacher, since the students are studying online, you have to know their progress. So try to do assessment. Try to assess them. Don't use the tailor's measurement. One size fits all. In learning, in education, one size does not fit all. So you as an educator, you have to know that one size does not fit all. This is very important and keep it in mind. See, if your approach is working or not, if it's not working, then change the format. So you might have an approach how to assess student, how to have one-on-one talk with student. If you are using a certain approach that is not working for the development of the language learners, for the development of the student, please change it. Please change it. Try as much as possible to change your criteria for assessment. If the format that you're using is not working, change it and always know whether your assessment is working or not. Because through the assessment, the language learner will know his or her improvement. It is also important to understand theory as well as strategy assessment. We have already talked about that. Pay attention to individual needs in your classroom. So you as a teacher, you have to pay attention to the individual needs. That's why one size does not fit all. Some students are very fast learners, others are slow. Learn how to handle all of them. Progress monitoring is essential to see what works. Research-based doesn't necessarily mean it will work for all students. Repertoire of strategies. So, as I told you, that the progress of the student is very important. You see, some students are very fast, others are very slow, so you have to know all these things. If you are a teacher, language teacher, teaching English language learners, keep in mind that English language might not be their first language. It might not be their first language. So what do? Please, I beg you as a teacher, speak slowly. Make sure the students understand what you are teaching. It is online, virtual world. So they have to understand what you are teaching. Please speak slowly. Okay, take your book and what are you going to do? Please open to the next page. Okay, if you open to the next page, that is it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, everybody, no. Please relax. Chill, relax, so that the students can learn more from you. So speak slowly. Speaking slowly is easier said than done. Many English language teachers in Naresuan University that I spoke to said this simple change is vital. So some of these teachers here in our university that I spoke with, they told me that this simple change, speaking slowly, getting to the level of the student is very vital and the student can understand very well. So try to practice that. You can record yourself speaking in class to measure your rhythm and adjust if you need during the online class. So during the online class, you can record some of your classes to see yourself. If you need to speak slow, if you need to speak fast, if you need to adjust or not. Adding in an extra 3 to 5 seconds after we pose a question offers all students time to think. So when you pose a question, try to give them 3 to 5 seconds to think, because you're doing online thing, right? So they need to think. It's not like, okay, so what is this? No. Give them some time to think, to answer. It's not that they don't know. But if you pressure them, they'll be like, I don't want to talk like that. Let it flow. See, let it flow. The online teaching is not the same as the mainstream classroom that we regularly do. Building students' ability to complete tasks on their own is important since you're teaching them through the virtual world, the online education. So what you have to do is give them the time to build on their own. Give them homework, give them assignments. Everyone, your assignment is page 52. Please do it on time and submit it to me. I will be checking. Give them time. Put a time frame because you're teaching online, right? Yeah, so give them time and it will build their learning abilities. Remember, students can add second language without feeling threat to their identity or first language. This I gain from teaching my Thai students and Korean students. Always as a teacher, don't put the first language of your students down. Encourage it as well. Because when they feel that their language is not threatened, they will learn more. They will learn more. They will gain more knowledge. So don't feel that, oh no, Thai is not good. No, learn English better. No. Encourage. Wow, you can speak Thai. That's very good. I like that. But if you speak English, you add another language to it. Try to motivate them. I told you, you have to be multitasking person. So try to motivate them. You can speak Tagalog. Wow, that is good. But if you add English to your language, wow, you gain more, right? Empower them. Don't let them feel that their language is not good. They will be threatened by that and they will not enjoy the English language. So always put in mind, I learned this from my Thai student and my Korean student. That is why it's easy for me to speak Thai. But in the classroom, I just make some Thai jokes and boom, they get excited with that. Oh wow, teacher, you can speak Thai, huh? Oh, wait, wait. And when they start speaking, I'm like, oh no, don't go there. Let's try to study English. This is English class, right? Yeah, but I don't understand. And something like that. It sparks their interest. They gain interest in that. And they learn a lot. They learn a lot. This is very important. They learn a lot. Let them feel that they are important. Okay. Do not undervalue the strength and the enthusiasm of students. Validate their experience and offer support. Don't underestimate them. Don't say, oh, my students, oh, you are not good. No. Do not underestimate them. Validate their experience and offer support. That's why some students can come to me and say, teacher, I have this problem. Oh, what is it? Teacher, I'm not good in this. Oh, don't worry. That's okay. You're not the only person. Let me help you. If you don't have the help, look for sources. Some teachers are also good. Ask them, hey, my student is feeling this. Can you help me with that? You see, be multitasking, be creative, so that you can accomplish your goal as a teacher. This is very important. So don't underestimate your students. Don't. Let them feel welcome. Let them feel welcome. So I will bring my lesson to an end. And to be a language teacher, to be an English language teacher, you need to be ready to do so. You need to be ready to do so. And employing these tools, these online teaching tools, to teach these language learners takes a lot of commitment. So please, let's try our best in these modern times to go with the flux. Life is flux. Everything is changing. Go with it. The hardest part of swimming is when you swim against the tide. And right now, the whole world is swimming against the tide. That's why we are experiencing a difficult time. But We have to go with it. If we don't swim, we will die. Right? If we don't swim, we will die. You see, so try as much as possible to be an effective language teacher, especially English teachers, because this is global demand on English. And I wish that all of you have learned a lot from this lesson. Do you have any question? If you don't have any question, thank you for coming today. Thank you for spending your time listening to these lectures. And thank you for listening to my song, for me singing. That is the worst part and a nightmare for all of you. But I hope it came out well. Until I see you again, we are the change makers. We have to be ready for that. Enjoy the rest of your time and be the change that you wish for. Thank you all, and God bless you all.